Alright, this is going to be like a part 2 to my previous video where I mentioned towards the end of my high school years, I started getting a bunch of commissions from a lot of different kids, and I alluded to that a few of them I needed to do research, and how that opened my eyes to a bunch of different things that I didn't know before. I became enlightened. You could probably guess just from the thumbnail of this video to what I made and what I learned. I guess this is the beginning of me being like a YouTube storytime animator. I guess I gotta start telling stories about when I was a kid. Alright, enough dilly-dallying. Let me just start the story. Alright, but first, a bit of backstory. This story takes place either during my junior or senior year in high school. And at the time, what I loved to draw above all else was character designs. It was the newest thing that I learned how to do at the time, and I loved the process from beginning to end. The whole thing, the sketching phase, the designing, like getting the feel of like what character you're actually drawing and designing. I just loved everything about it. And how I would keep myself busy doing that was that I would draw people's characters for D&D sessions. There was like a lot of kids who started to play tabletop games at the time, and I knew a couple friends that started playing D&D. And they came to me saying, yo, can you like draw us like all our characters for this game session that we're doing? And I was more than happy to do it. In the previous video, I already told you guys that I was known as that art kid. So if anyone in my class ever wanted like a drawing or something, they came to me. And that's what's going to lead into the first story that I'm going to tell you guys. From what I remember, it just started off like any other day, except this time during snack, I believe. A buddy of mine came up to me and said, yo, hey, I have like a couple of friends that were going to do a D&D session and stuff. Can you draw my character? And I was like, well, who am I to deny this man's request? So I took the job. Whenever I would like make a character for somebody, I would always have them write out a character sheet of like what the character looks like, their traits, their outfit, personality, all that kind of stuff, just so I can get a better idea of what product they want me to hand them over. And in this case, it was actually very interesting what the person actually wanted me to draw. He wanted me to draw him an anthropomorphic cat character, and that was like a first for me. I've never drawn anything like dog-like, cat-like, or anything anthropomorphic in that vein, like at all. So this was like very interesting for me to actually get my hands and draw something like that. At the end of that school day, he then came to me, gave me his character sheet. I read it and I was like, all right, I can work with this. This is gonna be fun. Let's see what I can come up with. I then get home and then I start working on this guy's character like immediately because I'm excited. Looking back, I actually kind of struggled when working on this character. I first didn't really know how far should I go with the cartoony side, like how realistic it should look like. And just overall, I was like struggling when designing it. And of course, when you're an artist and you're struggling while working on a drawing, what do? You look up references. Of course, the first thing when you look up, when you search cat characters, something like that, first thing that comes up is like Lion King. Four-legged, very cutesy, Disney style. This was not what I was looking for. I try to find something that, I don't know, even up to now, I don't know what to describe it. Just something a bit more human-y. I wanted something that is like upright, bipedal, anthropomorphic cat or dog-like characters. But I was resilient. I kept trying to find references that were actually useful to me, because the longer I worked on this drawing, the more I realized that it is starting to get a bit too difficult trying to work on this drawing without any good references. And in my search for knowledge, a word kept popping up. Furry. How innocent was I? This was my first time ever reading that word, hearing it, discussing it. Like this word was just added to my vocabulary moments ago. That's how new it was to me. This concept never existed previously. I looked up furry characters, and admittedly, it was a step closer towards what I was searching for, but not quite right. My pursuit of knowledge was not quenched, and I kept searching. And I kept searching. I scrolled down on that furry page, and you could imagine the type of things that popped up the further I kept scrolling down. Here, let me give you a reenactment of how I was that day. Alright, I'm scrolling. Ooh, I like the way how that one looks like. Why is that there? I'm gonna choose to ignore that. Oh. Wait. Why is this here? What is war? Inflation? What? Anyway, that's enough internet for today. I return to school the next day, and I tell him about the interesting journey that I went through the day before. And I ask him what differently does he want his character to more exactly look like. And he points me to the direction of actually looking into the cat species from Skyrim. He points out how he much rather wants his character to look more cat person-y rather than like furry cat person. We go back and forth for like a couple days, making sure like I tweak the design to what he likes. I actually looked back into some of my old sketchbooks and I found a few of like the actual sketches that I made while I was working on this. I don't remember what I quite did with the rest of the sketches. I probably either lost them or threw them away. It's probably the work of my subconscious, blocking out the rest to protect my psychological well-being. I joke about it being like mentally scarring for me, but it really was not, like not at all. I've been on the internet long enough and I've seen like much worse things. Like I just talked about like the anime that I liked watching when I was in middle school. But what really shocked me was just the whiplash. Like I was not expecting it like at the time, like at all. Like how did you go from like cute Lion King ass like OC drawings to max level perverted degeneracy? My God. And another thing, I don't know if these two are at all related, but I remember warrior cats like popping up like a lot when I was looking for references. I don't know why. It was just there, like the cover of the books and stuff, and like people making their own cat original characters. Yeah, it just kept popping up. That was just something that I observed. Anyway, I finished the drawing in a couple days. I tried to fit every single last detail that my friend wanted, and when I eventually gave him the final product, he was ecstatic. He absolutely loved it. I remember him being just like M. Bison from like, that one meme where he goes, "Yes! Yes!" He loved it. Like, a job well done, he said. And it was quite the journey to get there, to be honest. I remember it as like this short period where just a whole bunch of tonal whiplash and me discovering a whole new fandom that I had never previously known existed. And yeah, that's kind of about it. Thanks for watching.